I'm not sure if anyone can hear me up here. I'm not sure if I care. I think about life a lot. More specifically, how life ends. I don't. I'm not religious or anything. I don't believe there's anything after just and then nothing, like a light switch. It comes with the territory of asking yourself why a lot. Why do certain things? Why try? Why do anything if everything and anything is all just going to become nothing, including you, if you won't remember it? What is the purpose, you know? And being a nihilist, pessimist, realist as I am, I need to think of solutions for things. I need to think of solutions for why positive things are allowed to exist. Or rather, I need to find solutions for why the negative isn't all that exists. There are things I really like. There are loads of things I really like. And yet, somehow, it has found its way into my brain that nothing good does exist. And I used to truly think that. But as time has ever marched forward, my view on that has changed. There's video games that I like, shows I like. I'm clearly a fan of horror. And yet, it comes into question that how can that not be enough if there are things you like? Do the things that make life worse outweigh the things that make life better? I think it's different for each individual person. I don't think life has an individual solution anymore. A few years ago, hell, a few months ago probably, if you asked me what I thought the purpose of life was, my answer would have been to die. You are born so that one day you can die, right? It's the one constant. But in my pessimism at that time, I was not being realistic. I'm a very logical person. I like things that make sense. My solution to that question did not make sense. If you asked me now what the purpose of life was, it is to live. Now, whether or not I want to succeed on the purpose of life isn't really my choice or anybody's choice because it's already happened and is already happening. And people can choose whether or not it continues to happen in a moment, or they can choose to let life happen to them and eventually not. I have a very hard time with feeling trapped. It's a word I come back to a lot. It's a thing that makes life not worth living to me. And I've done my best to avoid that feeling of being trapped. And thus far, I've been succeeding. The past 2 days have been really hard for me. And yet somehow, some way, I've continued and found my way here. This video isn't scripted or anything, and I think that's pretty clear. But I think I just needed to record this as proof of something, that I'm not just living to die one day. So, upon coming to that realization a bit ago, the question is, how do we keep living? And again, with most things, there is no concrete answer, I guess, aside from not choosing to die. And I think the Lancer Deltarune? I think the answer lies in what we consider living. Is simply having electricity running through our brains living? Is our heart beating living? Or is living defined by something else? Obviously, logically, living is defined by those two things I just mentioned. But for a second, let's pretend that isn't. I suppose the real question I'm asking is, what is thriving? The reason I started this channel was so that I could be living, so that I could be thriving. Because I got sick of waiting for a chance. I had to create my own. And I don't think that chances come anymore. A lot of the times when you speak to older generations, or when you speak about like successful people, or people in history that are relevant, they'll often fantasize the thing they're talking about. And other people will often fantasize the success of others, to like, there's this one moment and they knew, there's the whole like, the Narcissist Cookbook made a whole song about it, with the whole like, Amelia Earhart saw the stars and knew one day that they would be hers, and in reality, Amelia Earhart originally hated planes. It's just things that so happen to come up. And I realize that those moments we say when something happened and someone went, that's my chance. It wasn't a chance being presented to them. It was them taking what was around them and creating a chance. And I guess that's what we're all trying to do, is create our chance. So we go on and on and on throughout our day, waiting for something to present itself so that we can create that chance, but nothing is ever presenting itself because chances need to be made. And if you don't have the energy to create your own luck, how do you create your own luck? I guess you're just out of it, right? Like, that's the thing, is it's a perpetuating eternal problem of, you need to create your own chances, but out of what, right? And I guess this video is to propose the idea that you create it out of nonsense. You don't create chances out of the situations around you. You create chance by insanity, I guess. There is absolutely no reason why I think that creating these little videos will somehow propel me to being in a situation where I no longer feel trapped. It's completely illogical. And as I stated before, I'm a very logical person. And it's one of those things where it's like, if you really, really look at the past and look at people who have succeeded, it's made almost entirely of them being delusional. It's made entirely of them doing something completely illogical, something that completely doesn't make sense. And you realize when you look at it that way that for every one of those people that took a insane chances on something that did not make sense, there's hundreds of people who instead just fell, just didn't get the chance to continue. And I think that scares me because it's easy to fantasize, right? Like, I grew up with the internet. If you're watching this, you probably grew up with internet and TV shows and stuff, ensemble groups, yada yada. And you always get that trope of like so many things of there's someone down on their luck and someone swoops in and picks them up and helps them, or there's somebody who is depressed and pushes everybody away, and there's that happy-go-lucky main character that comes and breaks their shell. That shit doesn't happen, right? Like, I get very cynical when I look at that sort of stuff because it doesn't happen, right? Introverts don't actually get like adopted by extroverts as we like to pretend on the internet. What happens is that the introvert has to make some amount of effort. Because really, if like an extrovert is trying to make a friend of an introvert and the extrovert gives that person their number to contact them, if the introvert just like burns the number, then nothing happens. Every time there has to be a modicum of the introverted person making some progress forward. No one can be forced into getting better. We have to do it ourselves, which is fucking awful. Like, I wish that everybody who's having an awful time in their life could just be picked up by a superhero and launched into getting better through some weird form of like super powered therapy drug. But it's just not realistic to think that way, to want that. And again, it's easy to fantasize about that, but I think I'm just broken past the point of fantasizing, right? Like, I'm obviously delusional to a point, but there has to be a point where you break past fiction, where you realize that the things you have accepted about the world and that other people just get lucky are faults of your own at some point, at a very core, small point, right? Because obviously people do get lucky. It takes luck to break out of things. But it also takes determination and willing to take chances and being delusional as well. So I don't know why I recorded this video. I guess the whole thing about my struggles with recording videos recently is that they don't feel authentic to who I am. And sitting in a abandoned slaughter room drinking an energy drink at like 1 a.m. talking about existential shit is very me. But I'm not stopping. That's the actual point of this. I'm not stopping. I'm not doing any form of like I'm not stopping. I'm not slowing down. I'm just getting through the rough bits. Because there was a point where I truly saw no point in like, and I mean like that's why I started this whole channel off with. But if I truly thought that logically, then I wouldn't have made this channel to start with. I made this channel because I want there to be a chance. This is me creating my own chance, essentially. So, yeah. I'm not sure if I'm even gonna upload this video, to be honest. Maybe I'll like keep it for a rainy day. If I'm ever have a day where I'm like, nope, can't do it, can't upload, I'll just upload this instead.